in the building. What's good? Just had to get my microphone turned on. Josh Chanel, thank you for tuning in. I'm live in like multiple places at once. I'm really just procrastinating because I don't want to do the laundry right now, just to avoid that. So I'm going to talk for sync licensing, trailer music networking. Today I actually made a lot of reggaeton instrumentals for different projects. I've gotten a lot of briefs over the last 2 weeks for reggaeton, Spanish music, not even Spanish mixed with English, like all Spanish. So been making a lot of that over the last few days. Luckily we had a snow day today, so I didn't have to go into the office. I was gonna work from home anyway today because I'm going in like later this week. We're usually 3 days in the office, so I got to go on Friday for an event. But so I was going to work from home anyway, but we got the snow day, so like that, I was able to focus on some of those projects. So I made a lot of reggaeton, a lot of sort of urbano Latino music today. I sent it to some artists that I'm working with to deliver, and I'm trying to get those to some libraries. So been working heavily in that space. Jared Walker, thank you for tuning in. Simply Shardy, thank you for tuning in. Creative Space Events, thank you for tuning in. So that is the current like trend. I've been seeing a lot of reggaeton requests for different projects, and also, of course, the sports events that are happening. Been seeing some requests for the Super Bowl come in. So one of my goals this year is to land a Super Bowl trailer, or one goes to land a trailer, another goes to land a commercial. So either one of those I'd be really happy with. So fingers crossed, and we'll find out how things align with that, I guess, in a few weeks. So shout out to everyone that is diving in on the sync space. I am speaking at a conference this weekend, Sync Music Success. It'll be fully virtual. I will be talking on the ads and promo panel, and I think I'm moderating another panel about, it might be artist empowerment. I gotta see which one it is, but I'll be moderating another panel. So that'll be great. That starts on Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time. If you are on Instagram, you can comment the letters SMS for Sync Music Success on any other post other than this one, and I'll send you information about that. But that'll be Saturday and Sunday starting at noon for about 5 to 6 hours each day, diving into a bunch of content on sync licensing and things. So learning about sync. There'll be a panel on the legal side of sync. There'll be a panel on trailers. There'll be a panel on I think there's a panel on sports, panel on different genres of music in the sync space. So it'll be fun. And like I said, I'll be speaking on the ads, promos, and campaigns. I actually worked on a couple ads this week also. So enjoy diving into that lane and working on those campaigns. Zashanel, shoot me a DM. I need some music in like 2 hours. So if you can write and record fast, I think I have 2 tracks left. Pick one, and then I can send that your way. So let me know. That is for a library that I work with, and I think it might be for a film. They haven't really been specific on. They haven't been specific on the deadline. It's today, but I didn't get an exact time. So if you are a library and you are asking your creators for music to be submitted to your library, please put in every brief or music request that you put out there. Put in the deadline date, the deadline time, and the deadline time zone, so that it's like, hey, it's due Tuesday, January 16th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, how to submit, whether it's through Disco, which is what I use, or some other platform. If you are interested in finding out more about Disco, you can comment the letters, comment Disco and the number 1 on Instagram. But Disco is what I use. And then I'll also leave it in the description on this video on YouTube and LinkedIn. Disco is what I use to manage my catalog. And it's the platform that it's started by music supervisors. So it's a platform that a lot of music libraries and music supervisors use. Most of the libraries that I work with use Disco. A couple of them that I work with use Dropbox. Actually, one uses Dropbox and one uses Box, but everyone else uses Disco. So Disco is a way to go. James Gardner, thank you for tuning in. DJ Meezy, thank you for tuning in. Let me, Zashanel, let me find that link for you. But yeah, I need music ASAP, written and recorded to some beats that I have on Disco for that reggaeton opportunity. So I submitted it to the library that I work with. They have a community of creators in the library, but they're kind of slow to respond. So I like to work with the collaborators that I have in my network that I know can deliver fast and on time. So if you can knock it out in like, let's say by 10:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight, then should be good to go. So that is what's going on. And I'm making a lot of music this week because I actually did sort of a trailer type thing today. It was actually ended up being, I guess it was like more of a trailer for a campaign. And fingers crossed, it was for an ad thing, but it ended up being more trailer type music. So fingers crossed that lands. But I'm trying to make as much music as I can this week because next week, NAMM coming up. I got to figure out what day I'm going to LA, but I'll be in NAMM mode for the week, in networking mode. So won't really be creating as much music, even though I'm supposed to be Artesia. Man, I got to get with them because I was supposed to have this little keyboard that they were going to let me use. I made a deal with them last year at NAM, and they didn't really follow through. So trying to get that from them before we go to NAM. Christina, thank you for tuning in. If you're going to be at NAM, so again, Sync Music Success this weekend, the conference I'll be speaking at. And Mercy Beats, thank you for tuning in. Sync Music Success, I'll be speaking at this weekend. Fully virtual Sync conference. Comment the letters SMS on Instagram, and I'll send you some information about that. Or if you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, I'll put the information in the description. And then going to NAM, I'm organizing 7 panels. And I'm hosting 3 of them. 3 of them will be on sync licensing. So the first panel would be the business side of sync. The second panel would be the creative side of sync. The third panel would be music supervisors, sync libraries, and sync agents. If you missed the episode of 3 Beats Later yesterday, I was on the episode of 3 Beats Later on YouTube yesterday. It's also on my YouTube channel. You can watch the replay, and we actually dive in on all of those different panels that I'm organizing and those different. You're gonna be in. Oh man, Christine, I thought you was gonna be at NAM. That's dope, though. NAM is actually the 25th through the 28th. So it's next week, the end of next week. And the panels I'm hosting, the 25th will be 2 panels back to back, 10 to 12, and then the third panel will be on the 26th at 2 p.m. And then the other ones, I'm just more helping out, getting panelists on for it's about immersive audio and like AI and that type of thing. So those are panels. I'm waiting on. I'm trying to get word from this big composer from his team, but I think I'm gonna have to line up, try to get another composer lined up just in case, because it's getting down to the wire. And I actually reached out to like their team today, and they're waiting for the PR to respond to see if it schedules. And I'm like, this is next week. I need to know like today. But I really want to land this composer because that would be like incredible. I might just have to. I've been trying to DM him like, you know, off the record, be like, yo, what's your schedule like? Yeah, Christine, if you can make it, it'd be dope. And if you can be in those rooms. So 2 of the rooms, you're back. The one that's back to back, that one, from what I could tell, seats about 500 people. The other one, I don't know how many people can sit in there. I think about 200 to 300. So for that third one, you definitely want to show up early, line up early, in case it'll be overcrowded. Like last year. Last year was just crazy. We had like 800 people register, 700, 800 register for a room that could only seat like 100 people. But I didn't look ahead of time to see how big the room was. I saw the registration like leading up to it. I was like, oh, okay, we got a couple hundred people. But then, yeah, some people couldn't make it in the room. It wasn't streamed or anything, so they couldn't have access to that content because some people paid just to be in that room. And yeah, so sorry about that. So this year, show up early. No matter if the room is like 500 seat or like 100 seats, just show up early, wait in line, and get in there, and we'll have a fun time. Some of the panelists I'll start posting tomorrow. Shout out to Jared as one of the panelists, Jared Alua, who was a panelist last year on the legendary panel that I put together for NAM. He actually did a NAM show song. He got me involved on helping to produce a NAM show song. So I'm going to share that when I start sharing more of the posts about the NAM show. So Sync Music Success and the NAM show. That's the big thing. And then making a lot of music this week. The goal, I think I'm done with making music for today. I made a lot. I made like probably 10 reggaeton beats today for that library. So hopefully I can get those artists to lock in on getting some of those ideas. I got like 1 back so far, so we'll see. So I hope to submit that to the library tonight. And then I just have a lot of admin stuff to do. I got to clear out some of my emails. I got to do some graphic design stuff for put these NAM panels. I want to put together some graphics together for the panels I'm hosting. So yeah, getting all this done. I took my book upstairs. I have a notebook that I've been writing down the tasks I need to get done in that book. And then if I happen to finish, I usually stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning, sometimes later. So if I finish that like by 11ish, and then of course, like I said, I'm just delaying doing laundry. That's why I went live, because I don't want to do the laundry. But if I finish that by like 11, I might get a couple hours more of music created tonight. So we'll see. We'll see how the cards land. One thing I want to do this year, and I've been failing at it miserably, is I want to get 6 hours of sleep every night, which it's impossible because by the time I get to the bed, I'm like, okay, I want to go to sleep. Let's say like 11. And then I'm like, oh, but then I get an email for a brief, or I get a music idea, or I just want to finish up an idea I started earlier, and I just lock in. And the next thing I know, it's 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I got to wake up in like 3 hours. So such is life. Coco, thank you for tuning in. If you have any sync questions, I'm probably going to get off in about 15 minutes so that I can actually do the laundry that I need to do. But today, yeah, I worked on a brief for a car advertisement. I worked on music for a financial ad. Worked on music for like some jazz thing. They wanted some jazz music, some pop music. some adventure score. I actually submitted some adventure score music. I didn't create that. I just had submitted stuff from my catalog. But the big thing today was the reggaeton stuff, really the reggaeton and the ad campaign stuff. So looking for more of those libraries that focus on those advertising and those campaign opportunities. Some of them can have a really, really nice budget. So yeah, I'm looking for those opportunities in those libraries. And then locking in with libraries that I think will be beneficial for me this year, or mutually beneficial ones that I think will submit my music to placement, to opportunities, ones that I can at least call or reach out to directly if I have any questions or issues. So trying to lock in with those libraries and figuring out which ones those are. And for me, I'm sort of finding those. I was talking to someone today, and they were like, I was telling them about one library that was taking rider share, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to work with them like anymore because I did a project for them because of the agreement I signed. But then I was like, yeah, I'm not a fan of people like getting in. They already took 100% publishing, but then they're like taking the rider share, so all I'm left with is 50%. I was like, yeah, I'm not a. They did pay for some of the music that you created up front, but it just wasn't worth it. So I'm like, I'm not a fan of giving up rider share. Unless they're paying really really well for you to create the music, never give up the rider share. Even if it's like a buyout or something like that, you can still negotiate to retain rider share and things like that. So just know that we'll talk more about that in the business side of things at NAM next week. So that's why the first panel, the way I structured it, would be the business side first because you can't really do anything else unless the business is settled. I can't work with you if we're trying to work on a sync placement if you don't have your PRO information. Like that right there is immediate. That's step one. Like get your PRO, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC if you're in the US, SOCAN if you're in Canada, GEMA if you're in Germany, PRS if you're in Europe, or UK or something. But wherever country you're in, make sure you have a PRO info, you have an IPI or CAE number, and that's basically will be entryway for working in the sync space. Eric, thank you for tuning in. I know we got a chat hopefully this week. This is going to be a crazy week trying to finalize some things with work and then finalize some things with the panels before NAM and getting all that situated. But yeah, NAM is going to be incredible. I'm hoping I can get my family out there. My wife was like, hey, I would love for them to come. They came last year. We even brought the dog last year. I don't know if we're going to bring the dog this year, but had the whole family in tow. And just to see my wife from the stage and even this year, to be able to see her from the bigger stage would be insane. But I know that either way, they will be in support of all the things that are happening. And you just never know when you go to events like this. You never know what can happen just by attending these events. You might end up in a chat with, I mean, you saw the videos I've been posting, the video of me reaching out to or asking Kendrick Lamar's engineer what song he wants trailerized. And he said Cartoons and Cereal. So I traileraized that. I asked Cucarell what song he wanted trailerized. He chose Umbrella by Rihanna. So I don't know if these people that I asked for trailerizations, if they've heard those trailerizations yet. So what could be interesting is if I can get back into their presence, so to speak, and then ask them again, like, hey, what song? Or I trailerize a song. Let's follow up. Let's go listen to it. Let me know what you think, and maybe even get footage of their reaction while they're listening to it. That would be like insane. But yeah, Eric, let's chat. Actually, Friday is being crazy for me because, but if early works, because I got to go into work that day. So if early morning works, I'll probably just be driving into work, so that'll be fine. Other than that, I'll be here for about 10-ish more minutes. And I try to avoid checking my email because it's like every time I check my email, I work with so many libraries now that I'm getting briefs daily, sometimes multiple times a day. I got one library I work with. I just got a brief due tomorrow, Marvel brief, and then another brief for Peacock opportunity. So yeah, that was I got. Let me see. Don't switch. I got one at 8:42 and I got the other one at 8:43, so 7 minutes ago. So a lot of these companies are based in like LA or they're centered around Hollywood either way, even if the company's not in LA. So they get these briefs from their LA people. They're working on the thing. They're working until the late hours of LA time. So I get them. Usually I get them by the time I get home from work and getting ready to settle. That's why it's like okay. I might want to try to go to bed at like 10, 11, but then I go to bed and then I see that I have 3, 4 briefs that I could work on for these opportunities. It's like, I guess I'll try to go for it because you can't land it if you don't go for it, right? So, yeah. And then also organizing the panels for working on the Sync Music Success this weekend, which is fully virtual. So if anyone wants to attend that, comment the letters SMS And I will share that. The other thing, I started offering trailerization services on my site. If you go to fingaz.com, or if you are on Instagram, comment the word trailerize on any other post, and I'll send you information on the trailerization services. I'm currently doing a 50% off sale on that. That's probably going to expire in a couple of days because once I start going to these different events, I'm going to go back to normal price. But I have a couple clients now that have been reaching out to trailerize songs from their catalog. So that is a service I offer. Basically, you pay the fee, and then give me some time to trailerize it. You send me 3 to 5 songs. I choose one song to trailerize from those 3 to 5, and then I work on the trailerization. And then once we get to a sort of deciding factor or option of the version of the song that we're both happy with, then I will try to pitch it to trailer opportunities that I get or to libraries, and we'll see what happens from there. Mr. Robertson, the producer, asks on Instagram, what do you say about sending a late submission for a brief? Deadlines are crucial. So depending on how late, if I would say if you're like 1 minute, maybe even up to 5 minutes late, that might be fine. Other than that, I wouldn't do it. So I had an issue with the library today, not an issue, but I didn't know what the deadline was because the deadline said due Monday, January 16th. And I tried to ask them, is it Monday or is it January 16th? But I didn't see it until, because the first thing I saw was January 16th. Um, and so I didn't really work on it until today. So it might already be late for that, but I told them when I sent it, I was like, I didn't know what the deadline was. So hopefully there's still time. If not, it's cool. I got another song from my catalog and I can use it for other stuff. But the deadlines are pretty much, this is some cases it's a really fast business. They're like, hey, we need it by this deadline. If you don't have anything by then don't submit. And I wouldn't make a habit of submitting things late to a library or to a music supervisor or to an agent. They won't accept it, or they might not even want to work with you in the future. So it's probably another quick way to burn a bridge. Always submitting music late or submitting music that's not on brief, things like that. So all that to say, I'm not a fan of it. Try to submit on time, and you never know what could happen. So let's say the deadline is 9 p.m. Eastern time. Let's say it's like in 8 minutes. Usually, I would try to submit, or at least have something ready to submit 30 minutes before, maybe 15 minutes before, just because it's like if you ever did like an online course, like online college or whatever, and you have to submit work by midnight, but they won't accept it at like 12:01. It's too late. They won't accept it. You'll lose points, whatever the case is. But you wait till like 11:58 to submit it, and then what happens? Your power goes out. Then it doesn't upload on time. The computer freezes up. Like all these things happen. So if you wait till the last minute to submit your music for these briefs, any of those things are bound to happen because technology will be technology and act like technology. So you're like, okay, I got till 9, but then you try to submit at 9. And then some libraries you got to put in all the metadata. So if you wait till then to upload it to whatever platform, like I said, I use Disco. It takes me some time to put all that metadata in, depending on the platform I'm using or the library I'm working with. So usually I try to have something ready like an hour before the deadline, and then submit that way. One thing I should ask, maybe I'll ask at NAM to the music supervisors themselves, is do they prefer people to submit like exactly on time? Like if the deadline is 9, should they submit at like 9 or 8:58 or whatever? Or do they prefer people to just submit when they want? Because sometimes I have music ready to submit for an opportunity that might not be due until like tomorrow at like 3 p.m. But it's like, okay, I got music already ready to shoot off to this library. Should I send that now, or should I wait till closer to the deadline when it's sort of like top of mind? Or what do they do with it? If I send it now, will they send it ahead now just because, early bird gets to worm, whatever the case is? So I would be interested in learning that from the library. So stay tuned. If I'll probably ask that during NAM. Let's say, so I probably shouldn't even ask about it. Yeah, I wouldn't if it's, especially if it's like really late. Even I worked with a collaborator on I needed some UK type music for an opportunity late last year, and it was a trailer. They wanted like a UK drill for a trailer, and it was a 6-figure placement, and I didn't really have a roster of like UK rappers that I could reach out to. So I posted on social media. One person responded, and she said that she managed some UK rappers and they could work on it, or one of them could work on it. And I was like, okay, cool. And she was asking me like what the library was, and I was like, I can't tell you, NDA. I can't say what the library was unless we get a placement. And I told her the deadline and everything. I was like, work on the song. We'll see where things go, and if it places, then then you can find out what the library is. But it turns out that they didn't get the song back to me in time. It was a great song. They did finish it eventually. It was like the next day, but it was after the deadline. And I was like, this is great, but I'm not going to submit this because it's after their deadline. So you're late to me, which makes me late to them. And honestly, I don't kind of hesitant to work with them, at least on because of some of the, like they asked who the library was, and I was like, I can't say. And if I told that to them, I've already revealed all the cards before they even did the song, and then not only did they not deliver the song on time, it was like it just was I didn't sit right with me after all that happened. So yeah, um, yeah. So deadlines are crucial, not just for the library, but if I'm trying to work with a collaborator, especially for the first time. That was like my first time trying to work with this person. So I have a spreadsheet that I keep track of my collaborators, and then in that spreadsheet I have green for I highlight the row green for people that can work fast for me. I highlight the row yellow if they can still get the work done. It's just maybe not as fast, and then I highlight the row red if I would hesitate to work with them again. So I keep track of all my collaborators. I got 50 new collaborators last year that I started working with. About half of them got signed to new libraries. And then some of them, reciprocate. They're like, hey, I'm working with this library. And one of the libraries that'll be on the music supervisor panel, or actually, I think she'll be on or one of those panels. Wendy, who runs Truly Music, will be on, I think, the first panel. I signed with her library last year because I collaborated with the artist on an album, and she was like, "Hey, this music, Truly Music is interested in signing this album, and in turn, they'll sign you, not exclusively with their library." So yeah, collaborating with artists is a good way to get in with libraries. All right, let's see. Mr. Robinson, producer, says, I see it as another opportunity for something else, but I was too excited to crunch and stuck on some things. I got that, Jim. Yeah, yeah. If you start seeing multiple briefs for similar music, like I said, I've been seeing reggaeton a lot this week. I don't know if it's just the trend of the month, but I think it'll probably extend for a while this year. I saw a bunch of briefs for reggaeton, so I was like, okay, maybe I should lock in and get a decent catalog of reggaeton beats ready, or reggaeton either beats, instrumentals, or full songs. Find the artist that can do like Spanish, maybe Spanglish type music, and get that catalog ready to submit to opportunities as they come in. So reggaeton, I've been seeing a lot of lately, but you never know, something else could like be the trend tomorrow. And of course, on the ad space, we'll see what ads sort of take over during the Super Bowl. That sort of sets the tone for the marketing for the year. I believe we'll find that out. If you come to the Sync Music Success Conference this weekend, I'll be asking Kevin Shine about sort of the ads and promo space. So I'll find out more about how that space really works from him. But I do pitch to ads and campaigns all the time also. And what I like about it is a lot of times I get footage to compose to. So yeah, that's dope. Any last minute questions before I end this? Probably in about 3-ish minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Again, I'm trying to go live, not every day. That's not the intent to go live every day, but pretty much every day, every other day. I've been going live mostly every 1 to 2 days since early December last year, maybe December 1st. The plan was to go live every day for a week, and then I just sort of fell into it and kept doing it. And the next thing I know, I was going live like while walking the dog or while driving the car. So that's when I like go live and talk about things. And then of course, recently over the last week or two, started figuring out this whole restream thing, so I can go live on Instagram and LinkedIn at the same time, or YouTube and LinkedIn at the same time. Then I go live from Instagram from my phone, and then also figured out I can stream from Logic to Instagram directly using OBS. So all this technology stuff, it's all like converging together. So it's like, okay, you can use this, you can do all these things, and you can share things. Also, I hope time's running away from me. I was hoping to do a workshop this week on trailer music. If I can get that set up, possibly I would do that Thursday or Friday evening Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned. Yeah. Mr. Robinson says, I don't want to be blackballed. Yeah, you don't. It is a small industry, and you start to realize that when you start going to these events. Even when I go to virtual events, when I go to in-person events, you start seeing the same people at these different events. And it's like, okay, word travels fast. Even with, I was talking to someone today and about like libraries that take like, just libraries that there should be a blacklist of libraries, is basically what I said. And I shared that there was a library that I was working with that takes the writer share, and I was like, I don't want to work with them. And they were like, yeah, that library, I don't even think they exist anymore. It's like, okay, good, because they were taking writer share. So I'm hoping there will be sort of more of a consolidation of libraries. There's a lot of libraries out there, hundreds, if not more. But yeah, there's a lot to choose from, and it's hard to figure out your way in those. I've worked with a bunch of libraries. I would say over the last year or the last 2 years, I probably work with 4 or 5 like new libraries that just started like brand new, that shut down. Like they didn't exist 2 years ago and they don't exist now. So they tried the library thing. I sent them some music and they're like, oh yeah, things aren't working out. We're going to shut down. So it does help to maybe find those more established libraries, but then it doesn't hurt to find the new ones. It's just make sure you know how to vet the new ones that'll work for the music that you make and create. All right, I'm about to end this. I'm about to finally go do some laundry. I'm gonna listen to some like podcasts. When I do like house stuff, usually when I'm like driving and stuff, I don't listen to albums. I listen to like podcasts and different panel discussions and YouTube videos on like sync licensing or on music production to sort of feed that muscle or trailer music, things like that. So yeah, I'm about to get out of here and go do some laundry and then see what I end up doing tonight as far as the admin stuff, the NAM stuff, putting that together. But comment the letters, SMS, Sync Music Success if you are on Instagram, or go to any post, comment that. This video will not live on Instagram. This video will live on my YouTube and LinkedIn. So if you just go to YouTube slash the Fingaz one, I think, or slash the Fingaz, and then go to LinkedIn, the Fingaz or Marcus Manderson, you'll find the videos up there. This will also be part of my podcast. This podcast that I have is currently only on YouTube. It's called Syncrets To Success. At some point, I got to figure out how to bring it all over to Apple and Amazon and Spotify for podcasts. And the podcast is sponsored by ASTS that makes some great sounds for us music creators. So shout out to ASTS. In the description, I will include a code that you can use to get a discount if you purchase up from their site. Also, for Sync Music Success, if you use the code Success Now, all one word, Success Now. If you use that code, you should get a 25% or 20% discount off of I think there's still early bird pricing up there that I think might be going away in a couple of days. So if you wait till the last minute to get tickets to Sync Music Success, the early bird pricing might go away. But last time I checked, it was still up there. So check out Sync Music Success. Choose the early bird ticket and put in the code Success Now, and you can get a discount off of that. And we will see you on Saturday. I will talk more about Sync Music Success over the next few days as we get closer to the actual show time, and it'll be a fun time across the board. All right, have a good night or day or morning wherever you are in the world, and I will see you on the next live. All right, peace.